Namaste, welcome. For the next 10 minutes or so as the music plays, just relax, close your eyes, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignyakara Dhura Hamare Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignyakara Dhura Hamare Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Omega Dantaya Vidmahi Vakrajundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat Ganganapataye Namo Namaha 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 Ganganapataye Dayaniti Sakala Vignyakara Dhura Hamare Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignyakara Dhura Hamare Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye 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 Namo Namaha Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha 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 Suklam Bharadram Vishnu Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyaye Sarvavignyopashantaye Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha
Namaste.
Namaste.
Welcome to our weekly online satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word that means community of truth. In this case, it refers to people who are awakening to the truth of oneness with all that is. When two of us join together, we strengthen each other. Spiritual community is an essential part of the journey. So we're glad you're here tonight. Welcome. We share throughout these webcasts the Flowering Heart Blessing, a direct transmission of awakened divine consciousness and grace. And when you receive it, it catalyzes the process of awakening. If you're already in that process, it dissolves blocks and hastens and smooths the journey. If you're already awakened, it'll take you deeper, because awakening is not a destination, but an ongoing expansion infinitely. So glad you're here. I don't think we have any other announcements, do we? I don't know why I'm getting an echo, but I'll do my best. Anyway, we like to open it to questions and answers on the spiritual journey. And we've already got one, but let's see, there might be others. I saw Tristan is hanging around, and got one from Michael Christopher. While you're thinking about that, I'm going to read some quotes and an article from inspiringquotes.com. This is by Joyce Chen, who's a writer, editor, and community builder based in Seattle, Washington. And this is 12 quotes about rebirth and renewal. Rebirth is most often associated with religious or spiritual beliefs in a soul and its journey after one's biological death, also known as reincarnation. The concept supposes that every living being begins a new life in a new body after its physical form expires in this life. It's a belief that is deeply rooted in the idea of karma. Who or what we become in the next life is predicted on who or what we are in our current existence. But there's another, more abstract way of considering the concept of rebirth. That is how we shed old habits or learn new skills in order to remake ourselves even in this life. Take, for instance, the idea of a clean slate or a fresh start, both of which can represent rebirth, renewal, and second chances. Of course, such a seismic shift doesn't happen without ample impetus. Just as a phoenix is born out of ashes, so must there be some form of wreckage in order for a rebuilding to take place. Here we've rounded up 12 quotes that touch on the concept of rebirth as both a spiritual reawakening and its more pedestrian counterpart, a comeback. So here we go. Each night, when I go to sleep, I die. And the next morning when I wake up, I am reborn. Mahatma Gandhi. Long is the cycle of birth and death to the fool who does not know the true path. Buddha. It is not more surprising to be born twice than once. Everything in nature is resurrection. Voltaire. In order to rise from its own ashes, a phoenix first must burn. Octavia Butler. I tend to think of death as being like changing your clothes when they're old and worn out, rather than as some final end. Sogyal Rinpoche, Tibetan Buddhist teacher. How do you plan a rebirth? I'm not sure you do. You just stand in the darkness until you can't endure it any longer, and then you move forward until you're standing in the light. Questlove. For each of us, there comes a time when we must awaken and become what we were born to become. Seth Adam Smith, author. Wise is the one who flavors the future with some salt from the past. Becoming dust is no threat to the phoenix born from the ash. Curtis Tyrone Jones, author and motivational speaker. Following dark winter's strife, a warm air rises, teemed with life. Birth, rebirth, as the waiting die. Old love, new love sprouts wings to fly. Far West Nagel, author. Life is a cycle, a great wheel that turns throughout time. We're born, we live, we die, and if we're lucky, we're reborn again. Robin Bakar, author. Spring is far more than just a changing of seasons. It's a rebirth of spirit. Tony Sorensen, author. I look on death to be as necessary to our constitution as sleep. We shall rise refreshed in the morning. Benjamin Franklin. And thank you, Joyce Chen. So let's see where we are. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to keep hitting renew. Strange thing going on here. So we have a question from Michael. How does one receive guidance from God on which path in life they should take? Ask.
That was my thought.
One word, ask and you'll receive. Seek and you'll find, knock and the door will be opened unto you. Ask God to show you the path you should take. Call unto me and I will answer you, Scripture says, and I will show you great and hidden things which you have not known. God will order your steps, sometimes through invisible coincidences, sometimes through signs that are very clear. When you're a mental health counselor, how would you answer it if someone came to you and said, how do I discern what path I should take in life? Well, if you have a passion, follow your passion. If you're drawn to something that gives you life, whether it's counseling or whether it's dancing and singing, if there's something that you love that brings you joy in life, pursue that. Sometimes we're enabled to pursue our heartfelt path as our main profession in life. Other times it's a sideline. There are people who are beautiful dancers, artists, singers that don't support themselves primarily that way. But if you want to know from God, talk to God. Develop a conversation. Ask God in prayer, and then imagine God actually has the audacity to simply answer you. And listen to what you, right at this point, your mind will, I'm making it up. That's my imagination. I don't think so. God is much greater than your imagination. And sometimes may choose to actually speak to you through your imagination. One of the tests that sometimes religious in the Catholic Church seeking to enter the monastic life, they're asked, do you talk to God? Yes, that's the right answer. And then the next question may be, and does God speak to you? And you got to be very careful how you answer it. I've heard some wise monk friends say I answer, sometimes God speaks to me through my own imagination. That way you don't get branded psychotic. But no, God speaks to us all the time. So you can ask for a sign, but God doesn't always give you a sign, but God will always guide you when you ask for guidance. You need to believe that.
Right. And the trickiness is being open to receiving that guidance without overthinking it.
So immediately when I read your question, I thought, and a verse came. I mean, first ask and I'll answer you, but this verse just leapt up from Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither you are going. Now, Ecclesiastes can be a little bit of a bummer, because Solomon in Ecclesiastes discusses the futility of seeking fulfillment in this material life. But he does give some gems of wisdom. And Solomon is considered to be very wise. Jesus said that there was none wiser than Solomon until John the Baptizer appeared and Jesus himself. Anyway, whatever your hand finds to do. So, seems to me your hand has found a wonderful work to be engaged in. Then do that with all your might. You don't like that? Find something else. But whatever your hand finds to do, jump in and do it. Eckhart Tolle would say, do it as if you chose it. Although sometimes it seems like these things choose us. But fully involve yourself. This is the opportunity to live our life to the fullest. And if we question our every step that we take, the direction that we're taking, if we doubt it and question it and go back and forth, we miss the beauty of the present moment and what we're involved in. It's not too late to change the path you're on. I think that was Led Zeppelin singing Stairway to Heaven. But still, they were singing to Pan the Piper playing in the bushes, and there's this scream. It's not too late to change the path you're on, and Plant goes, I hope not. So, you're not stuck doing what you're doing. But it could just be that you're not seeing what God has put there right in front of you, through which you can express your compassion, your wisdom, your love. And what is your passion? Follow it. That's all I would suggest. You probably could have guessed we would have said follow your heart. Okay, let's see. What else have we got here? There we go. They don't automatically come up. I have to hit renew, and then it takes me through several
steps.
It never used to do this, but who knows? Okay. Tristan says, my first question. I'm learning Qigong. I'm also learning martial arts and I have a lot of memories from homeless. A lot of dog, eat dog, physical abuse. I want to learn martial arts in the Dharma laws. I admire Hanuman a lot. Have you witnessed men who are like Hanuman as martial artists, agile, holy, playful, and strong? There's probably people watching who don't know who that is. Hanuman is, in Hindu religion, he's the monkey. He's back there somewhere. He was a devotee of Rama, who helped Rama deliver his beloved from an evil demon. Hanuman is a great servant of God. Hanuman is not the monkey associated with the martial arts, though, Tristan. It is the monkey god of China, a trickster, who tricks his way into heaven and steals the fruit of immortality and becomes an immortal. He's quite the rascal, quite beloved, and yes, I have known both. I have known people who embody truly the spirit of Hanuman, a beautiful thing. And I would say that a number of the disciples of Neem Karoli Baba embodied this beautiful servant. But I've known those who mastered the monkey style of the martial arts. And yeah, it's amazing. And we're not really here to talk about the martial arts or the monkey form. And you express wanting to learn the martial arts in the Dharma laws, which you either mean Hindu martial arts or you mean Buddhist martial arts. I only really know a little about Taoist martial arts. Follower of Taoism, Lao Tzu, I'm a Taoist abbot and all that. But I always wonder what people's motives are in studying the martial arts. I didn't want to learn the martial arts. I wanted to learn Qigong and meditation, but I didn't understand how I could be flowing in harmony with the universe and with the Qi of life and beat someone to a pulp or kill them. I thought, well, I was a pacifist, and it was during the Vietnam War. And I heard Christ teaching, turn the other cheek, don't lash out. And my master, who was a great martial artist, Master Sherke Lu, he said, Mike, good learn fight. You should learn fight. Well, I didn't listen to him for a while. I just studied meditation and Qigong, and once I was far away from the Taoist temple and someone attacked me, and it was the very Qigong that I had learned and the meditation that came up inside of me and deflected every punch, avoided every kick, ended the fight with this gigantic gorilla that wanted to waste me without a single blow. And he said, what is that? I said, I don't have a clue. He said, congratulations, brother. And he smiled and walked away. I went back to my master and said, I'm an ignorant young fool. Please teach me Kung Fu. And he laughed and began to teach me Kung Fu. But I learned from the inside out. In the Taoist arts, of which Kung Fu comes from, that source of Taoist meditation and Qigong, the martial arts and the healing arts are outgrowths, sort of side effects of deepening in meditation, deepening in the Taoist yoga, which is Qigong. So I learned meditation, and I learned how meditation can harmonize destructive negative forces without doing damage. And I went, that's very cool. But most of the people I knew in the martial arts world wanted to learn how to kick ass. They'd been beat up. Some of them had been involved in street fighting and didn't do so well, and they wanted to learn to protect themselves and beat up the other guy. I understand. I have sympathy, but it's probably one of the reasons that I don't teach much of my knowledge of Kung Fu. Because I don't want to feed that part of human nature that's rooted in fear and the need to fight. I think in most good martial arts, there's sort of a ladder of escalation. If you can just avert the situation, do it. If you can run away, do it. Who cares if somebody says you're a fool? Run. If you can't run, then duck and block and deflect. But you don't have to strike or hit or hurt. You only would hit if that was the only way that this out of control, violent, negative energy could be neutralized. And killing would be the last resort to be avoided. So that's my approach and how I learned about it. And it's amazing. The Chinese internal martial arts, which are rooted in Qigong and meditation, they're both Buddhist and Taoist forms, are just amazing. Been part of my life for over 50 years. So, yeah. And monkey is playful and strong. You don't want to mess with monkey. There are all these animals, they're different Kung Fu styles. There's crane, there's snake, there's dragon, there's tiger, which is very, strong bones and strong earth energy. And there's dragon, which is like a flying spirit. And the forms carry the sort of spiritual essence of those animals. And monkey is just funny as heck. Monkey does somersaults and rolls around on the ground and is kind of short and weird looking. And so is this really one of my very best friends in the world. That was his primary form and the animal form that he embodied. And he was a hoot. Very proficient, but very funny. So I can understand the attraction to monkey. Okay, second question. Can ancestor who's stuck possess or haunt a family member so that they themselves can taste the energy of what they miss themselves? No. That's not okay. And a departed human doesn't have the power to possess. Sometimes their soul that has unfinished business may haunt, but they can't possess like a demon, another person like that. It doesn't work that way. It's the demons who want to get into a physical creature, a human or an animal, to taste the energy of what they're missing because they're sort of cut off from material existence in their present form. Hence, wanting to get into something that's alive so they can experience sensuality and appetite and pleasure. Also not a cool thing, and we have ways for dealing with them. But a family member who's stuck, we should just have compassion on them and we should help free them. And there are certainly pujas to do that. There are mantras to do that. There are Taoist ways of doing that in meditation. There are prayer ways to do that if you happen to be a mystical Christian. Have compassion on all of our ancestors that may be stuck on any of the intermediate planes between here and the light or in the hell realms that are below, even darker than earth. It is part of our job to help liberate our family tree. And we've discussed this before, and you being Native American certainly understand about the ancestors. An ancestor may come like thump the ground and say, "Son, wake up, listen." Sometimes our ancestors come to us as very wise spirit guides, and I recommend listening. Last question. When my aunt, who I read the Bible with, told me a story of when she witnessed a healing where 5 people touched a woman's tumor and it disappeared. Have you ever met a mystic who had that healing ability with their touch alone? I'm going to say yes, because I certainly haven't, and then I'm going to say it's not the healer that does the healing. God if it's really divine healing, it's God doing it through the hands, through the touch, through the prayer, through the presence of the so-called divine healer. Even Jesus said, I can do nothing of myself. It's the Father who dwells in me who does the works. And if you believe the same works that I do, you can do also by asking the Father to do these things, to work through you. So even Jesus, who he experienced power go out of him. A woman came to him. He was in a crowd of thousands of people. And they were rubbing up against him, banging up against him. And there was one woman who had an issue of blood for many years. And she had spent all her money going to doctors. And she had gone broke, and she was not the slightest bit better and still had this issue of blood. She came up, sneaked up in the press, because in Judaism in those days, a woman who had an issue of blood was considered spiritually unclean and should not touch a rabbi or any man. And she sneaked up and she said, if I just touch the hem of his garment, I'll be healed. And she sneaks up and she touches the hem of his garment, and power comes out of Jesus and floods her, and she's healed. And Jesus stops and he turns around and says, who touched me? For he felt that power had gone out of him. And his disciples said, what do you mean who touched you? You're in a crowd of thousands of people rubbing up against you and banging into you. And he said, no, this was different. And the woman came up and knelt down before him and said, it was me. Which was dangerous for her to do at that time in Israel. And she said, it was me. And she told Jesus what she'd done, that I knew that if I just touched your garment, that I would be healed. And Jesus said to her, woman, your faith has healed you. And you got to listen to his words, because he could have said, oh woman, the power that I have surged out of me into you and it healed you. And a lot of spiritual teachers these days would play it that way. But he said, woman, your faith healed you. There were thousands of people in that crowd. Many needed to be healed. But she was the one who was able to connect with the healing power and receive it in faith. So, yes, Suzanne and I have seen many people healed. I've seen all kinds of healing miracles. I've laid hands on people and seen miracles. The one that I've seen a bunch. I've seen cripples walk. I've seen people that couldn't talk. The one that really stuck out to me was a guy who came into the church I was pastoring then one night. Stayed in the back, never seen him before. Jesus whispered in my ear, said, I'm going to heal him before the night's over. I completely forgot. I mean, there was just off the wall, this little voice I heard whisper. And finished the service. I was starting to dismiss it, and Jesus said, I told you I want to heal that man. Okay. So I said, sir, I don't know you, but did you come here tonight with a need for healing? And he opens his shirt and he's got a compound fracture. He's broken his collarbone and the bone is sticking out, which I'm glad I didn't see it till the end of the service. And I said, please come. And I laid my hands on him and I watched the broken bone set, fuse together, the flap of skin close over the wound and completely healed. There was no longer a wound. There was not even a cut. And he's lifting up his hands and thanking God, which he could not have done with that bone sticking out. And I was blown away. And he told me he worked in the automotive department of Sears. This was quite a few years ago. I went the next day. And I looked him up, and he was working with wrenches and tools on a car engine. And I'm like, I was as amazed as anyone else. But, I experienced that. But see, God did it used me as an instrument. I mean, all God needed me to do was obey what I was being asked to do. And God did it. The healings, the miracles, God does that. So, sure. It's actually quite common in some circles, healings, divine healings. It happens in all mystical religions and spiritual faiths. It happens a lot in Christian circles. Probably because, I mean, if you study the lives of the different great masters that are the source of various spiritual religions and teachings, Jesus spent a tremendous amount of his public ministry healing people. He released people from psychological and mental and spiritual torment, deliverance, and he healed whole multitudes of people just with a word. And he said that this would be a sign that would follow those who were his disciples. They will lay hands on the sick and they will recover. So it's not an extraordinary thing, it's an ordinary thing. You don't have to be an ordained minister. You don't have to be a healing evangelist or a prophet or a mystic. All you need to do is be a believer. And a believer is someone that's is able to step out in faith when they don't feel or see anything. Jesus said, if you're a believer and you lay hands on the sick, they will recover. And people that are silly enough and innocent enough to try it, it works. So there's a lot of healing in mystical and Christian circles because it's a continuation of the ministry and the presence of Christ through his followers. Good question. Let's see if there's something else I may have missed because of this weird new setup.
I wonder if there's some setting you can change or something.
I haven't found it. We shall see. Okay. All right. Oh, well, all right. So Michael Christopher said the profession is not in question, but rather in which locale I should be. Well, the answer's still the same. And what you asked is, how do I get guidance from God on which path in life I should take? That doesn't speak of geological location. The path in life is the vocation.
Or, it may not be a vocation. It may be...
Or anything.
Your beliefs.
But I mean, guidance for the path in life, you're on a path, and you're saying, okay, I'm not asking about the path I should take, I'm asking what locale I should do it in. Same thing. Ask God to show you. And keep your ears tuned.
Yeah.
Pedro asks, hey guys, new to Clearwater, 25. I've recently entered my spiritual journey after being forced believer of material science. We're just animals with highly complex brains. But recently I found myself feeling that God is just simply energy. And we are a manifestation of that energy. Would you say this group is something that can help me understand how to connect with my consciousness and the source energy of the universe? My circle isn't too about that. And I'm trying to find a community I connect with. Thanks, guys. Absolutely, Pedro. I mean, if you can and you're new to Clearwater, come to Flowering Heart Center. Go to our website, floweringheart.org, and get directions. Come, if you can, to one of our satsangs on Wednesday night, and I think you would be helped. And I would expand what you just said about God. God is pure being, pure spirit, pure awareness. Energy is frequency, is electricity. So God, well, let's see, what did you say? Okay. God is just energy, and we're a manifestation of that energy. I would say God is just pure light, and energy is a manifestation of that light. And we are a manifestation of that energy. And then you kind of nailed it. There's the material realm, there's the energy realm, and then there's the spiritual realm, which is actually beyond energy, beyond any manifestation of the universe. And would love to pursue that idea with you. So connect if you can.
It's 7:30 to 9:30 on Wednesday evenings.
And Tristan says, one last question. Have you ever met a guru who can transmit Diksha through comedy jokes and music? Yeah, Puppet G.
Yeah, oh, that's a good one.
Just run a search on YouTube for Puppet G. Puppet G is a puppet guru.
J.I.
Who is absolutely hysterically funny and does preach the truths of awakening and transformation in a hysterically funny way. Osho was pretty darn funny too. He had this famous talk. I don't know if he did it more than once, but he blew thousands of people away. Preaching on the F word, the most useful word in the English language. I effing know that's so because it is so effing funny, and if you don't understand, F you, you know. He just went on and on and on and gave the use of the F word, and he's considered, you know, he's passed on, but he was considered to be a very enlightened guru. And
it's still up there. We were talking about it a few months ago, and we found it on YouTube. So if you want to check it out, it's pretty funny.
If you need a good laugh, and you're not going to be scandalized by a guru using the F word. I mean, he's from India. He spoke other languages entirely. And then, although I don't know him, I've heard that Sadhguru can be very funny too. So, actually, I think that many of the truly awakened, God-realized gurus, especially of the Indian type, can be hysterically funny. Bhagwan from the Oneness movement could put you in stitches too. The Chinese and the Japanese masters tend to be much more stoic. Although some of my favorite Zen paintings are pictures of masters laughing their heads off, all in black ink, where the top of their heads are missing as they're just laughing themselves into the universe. That's pretty funny. But sitting under the teaching of a Chinese master or an authentic Japanese Zen or Taoist master can be very sober work. But you'll find if you give yourself to it, there are so many opportunities to laugh. I mean, the spiritual journey should be fun, not just all serious. And I think that's all we have time for tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you for your questions.
Yes, thank you.
Let me just check one more place real quick, like. Yeah, nothing. Okay. All right. So that's that. Go ahead and close your eyes if you would. And invoke the divine presence. The divine is everywhere present. The divine is above you. The divine is within you. The divine is all around you. There's something very special about the God within. The entire universe dwells within you. And this God who dwells within is all-knowing and all-powerful and all pure unconditional love. It loves you just as you are. This divine presence is not waiting for you to fix all your karma or become perfect enough or holy enough. In fact, you never can or ever could without the grace and the love of the divine itself. This divine being knows exactly what you need right now. So for this time, you don't even need to ask. God already knows what you're going to ask anyway and knows how to transmit to you what it is you need. So open yourself and receive and drink in the awakening, transforming, healing power of the divine presence. Breathe it in, drink it in, soak it up. There's no end to it. Just keep receiving and receiving and receiving. Drink in the light, the presence, the love, the grace. It will flood your spirit with light and with release from the illusion of distance and separation. There's no such a thing. The entire universe is one. And God is already one with all that is, and all that is one with God. The divine will dissolve the delusion of the mind and fill your spirit with light and peace. It will clear your mind and your emotions of destructive, negative thinking and feeling and programming and replace it with divinely inspired ideas and plans and feelings. Receive them right now. It will shine out of your spirit, through your mind into your body, and dissolve every dis-ease and infirmity within you. Spirit, soul, and body receive the healing grace and power and presence of God. It will flood your relationships, your social life, to dissolve destructive relationships, to draw to you healthy, loving, life-giving relations. It will shine through your entire life and ripple out into the world, making you a lighthouse so that all who come near you will be catalyzed by the grace of your awakening and your transformation. Just keep receiving. Imagine us all in a circle together, sitting in a circle with our eyes closed, our hands lifted up with our palms open. We invite the divine to pour the flowering heart blessing through everyone in the circle, to all the others sitting with us. As it flows through you to other people, it transforms, it liberates, and awakens you. Let the blessing flow through you to as many people all the time as you can. Let us visualize the earth in the center of our circle, the beautiful blue planet with 8.3 billion sparkling points of light that are the human spirits living on this planet. Let us ask the Divine to flood those 8.3 billion humans with light and love. Dissolve fear, dissolve anger, dissolve hatred, and flood humanity with love and awakening into oneness. Let us ask for mercy to bring an end to war. The wars raging among humans on this planet. Yes, in the Middle East, but also Africa and many other places. Wherever there is war and violence, let us take a strong intention for the presence to dissolve the violence, to dissolve the anger and the fear, to flood the hearts with peace, forgiveness, and love. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. And now you could relax your hands in your lap. And when you're ready, open your eyes and begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me as we begin the light meditation. Suzanne and I are flooded with oceans of light and love and grace, and it pours through every fiber of our being, especially through our eyes, the windows of the soul. Just keep gazing at least one of our eyes and don't look away, and receive. Nothing to struggle for, nothing to ask. Just receive, and the light streams and flows out through our eyes into your eyes, through your eyes into your heart, causing the light of awakening to grow brighter and brighter, and the fires of divine love to burn brighter and brighter, transforming you. Just keep looking and receive. close your eyes. Meditate with us a few more minutes as the grace settles within. Keep meditating as long as you like, or lie down in Shavasana. Shavasana is to lie on your back comfortably, with your eyes closed, your arms loosely at your sides with your palms open, turned upward, and just let yourself dissolve with gratitude in the divine presence. We love you very much.
Much love, light, and blessings.
Until we meet again, know that the divine in us beholds the divine within you, and we bow to you.